Most gardeners panic when they hear the word frost. They rush outside to cover plants, harvest everything they can, and assume cold weather marks the end of the growing season. But what if I told you that frost can actually improve the flavor of some vegetables? In fact, many experienced gardeners intentionally leave certain crops in the garden after the first frost because they know something remarkable happens. As temperatures drop, these plants begin converting stored starches into natural sugars. It's a survival mechanism that helps protect their cells from freezing damage. The result? Sweeter carrots. Better tasting kale. More flavorful roots. And vegetables that can taste completely different from the ones harvested earlier in the season. Today we're counting down 20 vegetables that become sweeter, tastier, and more enjoyable after frost arrives. Some of these crops improve slightly. Others undergo such a dramatic transformation that many gardeners refuse to harvest them before cold weather arrives. Let's begin. Number 20, Swiss chard. USDA zones, 3 to 10. Swiss chard is often overshadowed by kale and spinach, but it handles light frost surprisingly well. When temperatures dip, the plant slows its growth and begins concentrating sugars within its leaves. The result is a milder flavor and reduced bitterness. While severe freezes can damage chard, a few light frosts often improve eating quality significantly. Many gardeners report that autumn-harvested chard tastes noticeably sweeter than summer-grown leaves. It's one of the easiest ways to extend fresh harvests deeper into the season. Number 19, mustard greens. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Mustard greens are famous for their spicy bite. But after a few frosty nights, something interesting happens. That sharp, peppery flavor begins to mellow. The leaves remain flavorful, but the intensity decreases while sweetness becomes more noticeable. This creates a better balance that many gardeners prefer. Instead of overwhelming heat, frost-treated mustard greens often develop a smoother, richer taste. For people who normally find mustard greens too strong, a late-season harvest can be a pleasant surprise. Number 18, endive. USDA zones, 4 to 11. Endive naturally contains a pleasant bitterness that chefs often use to add complexity to salads. But frost changes the equation. Cool temperatures encourage sugar accumulation while reducing some of the harsher bitter notes. The leaves become more tender and the flavor becomes noticeably more refined. This is one reason many gardeners intentionally grow endive as a fall crop rather than a summer crop. And while endive improves after frost, the next vegetable becomes so much sweeter that many gardeners consider cold weather an essential part of growing it. Now we're getting into vegetables where frost doesn't just improve flavor, it can completely change the eating experience. Some gardeners harvest these crops before frost and after frost just to taste the difference for themselves. Number 17, turnips. USDA zones, 2 to 9. Turnips have a reputation for being strong, earthy, and sometimes slightly bitter. But cold weather can dramatically improve their flavor. As frost approaches, turnips begin converting stored starches into sugars to help protect themselves from freezing temperatures. This natural process creates a sweeter, milder root with a much more pleasant taste. Many gardeners who dislike summer turnips are shocked by how enjoyable fall-harvested turnips can be. Even the greens often benefit from cooler temperatures, becoming less bitter and more tender. For the best flavor, many growers wait until after the first few frosts before harvesting their crop. Number 16, collard greens. USDA zones, 6 to 11. In many southern gardens, there's an old saying, never harvest collards before a frost. While that's not entirely true, there's definitely some wisdom behind it. Collard greens become noticeably sweeter after exposure to cold weather. The frost encourages sugar production within the leaves, helping balance their naturally robust flavor. The leaves also tend to become more tender and less aggressive in taste. This transformation is one reason collards remain such an important cool season crop throughout many regions. A few chilly nights can make a remarkable difference. Number 15, arugula. USDA zones, 3 to 11. Arugula is known for its peppery kick. But when frost enters the picture, the flavor often becomes more complex. The spicy notes remain, but they become balanced by a subtle sweetness that develops during cool weather. Many gardeners find autumn arugula far superior to summer-grown arugula. The leaves are often more tender, less bitter, and much more enjoyable in salads. Instead of overwhelming other ingredients, frost-kissed arugula creates a richer and more balanced flavor profile. And if you think arugula changes after frost, wait until you see what happens to some of the root crops still ahead on this list. At this point in the countdown, we're moving into vegetables where frost begins creating truly noticeable sweetness. These are the crops that often convince gardeners to stop fearing cold weather and start looking forward to it. Number 14, Cabbage. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Cabbage is already a cool season superstar, but frost can make it even better. As temperatures fall, cabbage plants respond by increasing the concentration of natural sugars within their leaves. This helps protect the plant from cold damage while improving flavor at the same time. Many gardeners notice that fall cabbage tastes sweeter, less harsh, and more tender than cabbage harvested during warmer months. This is especially true for storage varieties grown specifically for autumn and winter harvests. A few frosty nights can transform a good cabbage into an exceptional one. Number 13, Beets. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Most gardeners know beets are naturally sweet. What many don't realize is that frost often makes them even sweeter. Like many root crops, beets respond to cold weather by converting stored starches into sugars. The roots become richer, smoother, and more flavorful. Even the beet greens frequently improve after light frosts, developing a milder taste with less bitterness. Many experienced gardeners intentionally delay beet harvests until cold weather arrives because they know the flavor reward is worth the wait. And the sweeter the beet, the more enjoyable it becomes whether roasted, pickled, juiced, or eaten fresh. Number 12, Leeks. USDA zones, 4 to 10. Leeks may be one of the most frost-friendly vegetables you can grow. In fact, many gardeners leave them in the ground throughout much of winter. Cold temperatures help concentrate sugars while reducing some of the stronger onion-like intensity. The result is a sweeter, more delicate flavor that many chefs actively seek out. Unlike many vegetables that decline after frost, leeks often continue improving for weeks or even months. Their ability to remain harvestable through cold weather makes them one of the most valuable crops in a winter garden. And while leeks become impressively sweet, the next vegetables on our list undergo an even more dramatic transformation once frost arrives. We're now entering the top half of the list. These vegetables have earned a reputation among experienced gardeners for one simple reason: many people refuse to harvest them until frost arrives. The flavor difference can be that dramatic. Number 11, Radicchio. USDA zones, 4 to 10. Radicchio is famous for its bold bitterness. For some people, that's exactly what makes it appealing. For others, it's the reason they avoid it entirely. But frost changes the story. As temperatures drop, radicchio begins accumulating sugars that help soften its bitter edge. The leaves still retain their distinctive character, but the flavor becomes smoother, richer, and far more balanced. Many chefs actually prefer frost-kissed radicchio because it offers complexity without overwhelming bitterness. If you've never enjoyed radicchio before, try it after a few frosty nights and you may change your mind. Number 10, Rutabaga. USDA zones, 3 to 9. Rutabagas are one of the classic vegetables associated with frost-sweetened flavor. These large roots spend months storing energy underground. When cold weather arrives, they begin converting some of that stored energy into sugars as protection against freezing temperatures. The result is a sweeter, more enjoyable root with less of the strong earthy flavor that some people dislike. Many gardeners intentionally leave rutabagas in the ground well into autumn to maximize this effect. And once you've tasted a frost-sweetened rutabaga, it's easy to understand why. Number 9, Brussels sprouts. USDA zones, 2 to 10. If there's one vegetable most often associated with frost-improved flavor, it's probably Brussels sprouts. For decades, gardeners have noticed that cold weather dramatically changes these miniature cabbages. The reason is simple. Frost encourages sugar production while helping reduce bitterness. The sprouts become sweeter, nuttier, and much more appealing. Many gardeners won't harvest Brussels sprouts until after several frosts have passed. Some even claim the first frost marks the true beginning of Brussels sprout season. And while Brussels sprouts are famous for improving after frost, the vegetables still ahead become even sweeter than many people imagine possible. Now we're entering the part of the list where frost doesn't just improve flavor, it can completely redefine it. These vegetables are famous among seasoned gardeners because the difference between a pre-frost harvest and a post-frost harvest can be astonishing. Number 8, mâche, corn salad. USDA zones, 4 to 11. Mâche is one of the most cold-tolerant salad greens in the gardening world. In many regions, it continues growing long after lettuce has disappeared. What makes it special is how well it responds to cold weather. Light frosts help intensify its naturally sweet, nutty flavor while preserving its tender texture. Unlike many greens that become damaged by cold, mâche often seems to welcome it. That's one reason European gardeners have treasured this crop for centuries. A bowl of frost-kissed mâche can taste remarkably different from one harvested during warmer weather. Number 7, daikon radish. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Daikon radish may be one of the most underrated vegetables for fall and winter gardens. These long white roots grow quickly, tolerate cold weather exceptionally well, and often improve dramatically after frost arrives. Before frost, daikon can have a strong peppery bite. But as temperatures fall, the roots begin accumulating sugars while the sharpness gradually softens. The result is a sweeter, milder flavor that many gardeners find far more enjoyable. This is one reason daikon is traditionally grown as a cool-season crop throughout many parts of the world. The roots remain crisp and refreshing while developing a better balance between sweetness and spice. Many gardeners intentionally leave daikon in the ground through several frosts to maximize flavor. And when harvested after cold weather arrives, the difference can be surprisingly dramatic. Number 6, tatsoi. USDA zones, 4 to 11. Tatsoi may look delicate, but it's remarkably tough. This Asian green tolerates cold temperatures exceptionally well and often improves after frost. The spoon-shaped leaves develop a richer, sweeter flavor while maintaining their crisp texture. Many gardeners are surprised by how well tatsoi continues growing when temperatures drop. In some climates, it can survive beneath snow and continue producing once conditions improve. The combination of sweetness, cold tolerance, and productivity makes tatsoi one of the most valuable vegetables for late-season harvests. And while tatsoi handles frost beautifully, the top 5 vegetables on this list have built legendary reputations because of what cold weather does to their flavor. We've reached the final 5, and these vegetables are the reason many experienced gardeners actually look forward to frost forecasts. For these crops, cold weather isn't a threat. It's a flavor-enhancing tool. Number 5, spinach. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Spinach is already one of the most nutritious vegetables you can grow. But after a few frosty nights, it often becomes noticeably sweeter. The plant responds to cold by increasing sugar concentrations within its leaves, acting like a natural antifreeze system. That same process improves flavor. The leaves become less bitter, more tender, and surprisingly sweet compared to spinach harvested during warmer weather. Many winter gardeners consider frost-kissed spinach one of the finest greens available. In some regions, spinach can even survive beneath row covers throughout winter while continuing to improve in taste. Number 4, carrots. USDA zones, 2 to 10. Carrots are one of the most dramatic examples of frost-improving flavor. As temperatures fall, the roots begin converting stored starches into sugars to protect themselves from freezing damage. The result is a carrot that tastes significantly sweeter than one harvested earlier in the season. Many gardeners intentionally delay harvest until after several frosts for this exact reason. Some describe the difference as tasting almost like a completely different vegetable. The sweetness becomes richer, deeper, and far more pronounced. If you've only tasted summer carrots, you may be missing the best carrots of the year. Number 3, Claytonia, miner's lettuce. USDA zones, 3 to 9. Claytonia thrives in cool weather and often reaches peak quality during the coldest part of the growing season. The succulent leaves remain tender while many other vegetables struggle. After frost, the flavor becomes even sweeter and more refreshing. Unlike some crops that simply survive cold weather, Claytonia seems to flourish in it. Its mild taste, crisp texture, and exceptional cold tolerance make it a favorite among winter gardeners. Many people discover Claytonia only after other salad greens have disappeared, which makes its frost season performance even more impressive. And if you think these vegetables improve after frost, the top 2 entries are so famous for frost-enhanced sweetness that many gardeners purposely wait for freezing temperatures before harvesting them. We've reached the final 2 vegetables, and these are the crops that have become legendary among gardeners for one simple reason: many people believe harvesting them before frost is harvesting them too early. The flavor transformation can be that dramatic. Number 2, Kale. USDA zones, 2 to 11. Kale is probably the vegetable most gardeners mention when discussing frost-improved flavor. And for good reason. Before frost, kale can sometimes taste strong, earthy, and slightly bitter. But after a few cold nights, the plant begins converting starches into sugars as protection against freezing temperatures. The result is remarkable. The leaves become noticeably sweeter, the bitterness fades, and the overall flavor becomes far more balanced. Many gardeners who dislike summer kale are surprised to discover they enjoy it after frost. Some even claim the best kale of the entire year is harvested after the first hard frost. And yet, one vegetable still surpasses kale when it comes to dramatic frost-enhanced sweetness. Number 1, parsnips. USDA zones, 2 to 9. Yes, parsnips deserve a second mention, and this time they're at the top for a reason. While many vegetables improve after frost, parsnips are in a category of their own. In fact, some gardeners intentionally refuse to harvest them until multiple frosts have passed. The cold triggers an extraordinary conversion of starches into sugars. What begins as a firm, somewhat earthy root transforms into one of the sweetest vegetables you can grow. Roasted, mashed, added to soups, or eaten alongside other root vegetables, frost-sweetened parsnips develop a rich flavor that many gardeners wait all season to experience. Few crops demonstrate the magic of frost as dramatically as parsnips. That's why they earn the number 1 spot on our list. Most gardeners spend years trying to protect their vegetables from frost. But as you've seen today, some crops actually become better because of it. From kale and carrots to Brussels sprouts, parsnips, spinach, leeks, rutabagas, and collards, these vegetables use cold weather to unlock sweeter flavors and improved eating quality. So the next time a frost warning appears in the forecast, don't automatically assume the season is over. For some of the best tasting vegetables in the garden, it may just be the beginning. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which frost-sweetened vegetable is your favorite? And have you ever noticed a dramatic difference in flavor after a cold snap? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more gardening tips, homesteading ideas, seasonal growing guides, and practical ways to grow more food at home. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next garden.